Hello, and welcome to Training for Volunteers. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for volunteering your time to being part of the Evaluating Better Together conference. We do really appreciate that you are taking the time, or if you have registered and you also have agreed to be a volunteer, that you are representing and helping us with this conference. This sounds super cheesy, but we couldn't do this without you. It's very literal because we really couldn't. We have several sessions going on at one time, and as far as I know, I'm not either the Flash and I cannot replicate myself, so we definitely could not do this without your help. So that's first of all. So some general information about the conference. It's a 2-day conference on the 27th and 28th. Beverly Parsons is our keynote speaker, and she's speaking on Friday. Lunch is included to those who registered for the conference. And then also just remember that this is a statewide conference. So there's DU students and professors and also practitioners. There are also other students and professors from other universities in the state. So we want to just be as professional and welcoming as we possibly can in general. Because we are representing DU and we are also representing the program evaluation sector of our school. And also, we would also like to be known as some people who put on some really cool conferences. So, just for general information. So specific things for being a volunteer. Unless you registered for the conference, we cannot provide you lunch for either of the days, just because we're at cost. For budget wise. So unfortunately, we cannot provide you with lunch. But if you did register for the conference, then lunch is provided with that registration. Secondly, besides the session, if you're chairing a session, besides that session, we would welcome you to go to another session that you're not responsible for if there's something that you're interested in. And then also for people who signed up for registration, we would welcome you to go to sessions as well. Please pick 2 sessions that you would be able to go to because we want you to also experience, experience the conference. And you're volunteering your time, and so we would really like for you to be able to see what is being discussed at the conference. Additionally, please take pictures during and between the sessions. We do have a photographer who volunteered her time, Katie, and she just can't be everywhere at one time. And so we would really like to have some good pictures from participants as well for us to put up on the department website, plus for our program evaluation sector about the conference in general. And so we would like you to take pictures if you can. Also, sorry, I didn't introduce myself, but I am your main point of contact. So my name is Jessica Morganfield. I am a PhD student in the Research Methods and Statistics department. And I will be your main contact for volunteer issues. So my phone number is here, 303-506-4394. You can call or text me on that number, and I will be anywhere, or I'll respond in as quick as I possibly can. Other people that you can contact: Debbie Goensmith, Megan Kaufman, and Professor Robin Thomas Pitts with any issues. Hopefully there will be no issues, but if you have any questions that come up during your day, then definitely reach out to us so that we can facilitate that for you. So let's get into the beef of the training. So there's 2 different volunteer types. One is registration and the second is session chair. So at registration, just things to think about is you're the first contact. You're going to be the person who gives them the initial lay of the land. And also you're going to give them a session breakout, which is pretty much a program flyer so that they know where and what is happening for that day. Session chairs, the tasks that you have is a little bit more in depth, but it should hopefully not detract from you being able to enjoy the session that you're in. There's an introduction, an evaluation, and also a reflection. So we just hope that you'll be able to do those things. And then in general, we just want everyone to be able to be a helpful guide. Like I spoke to before, this is statewide. There are people who are not from DU that are going to be attending, that are practitioners. So we just need to be very welcoming, help people around the school, and be the utmost of professional, so that they see that we are serious about our conference and serious about what we do there. As we like to say sometimes, we like to work hard but play harder. So just be as welcoming and help guide people around the school and try and facilitate as many questions as you can. So let's go more in depth in these two different roles. So for registration, once again, you're going to be the first contact. So it's going to be really early. It's going to be registration starts at 9:30. And so I get that it's going to be pretty early, but we need you to sign people in and then give them the lay of the land, where restrooms are, where lunch will be served, where opening remarks are, and where the job market will be. Each of these things will be labeled, but it's also just nice to just tell people sort of where things are, so then they're not anxious about that. Additionally, you'll be handing them a program with a map on the back of it. So the program is just the sessions and times of everything for that day. I'll have one for Thursday and for Friday. And then the map will have the different levels in the building where sessions will be held. So just going over that a little bit would be really helpful. If a person has not registered, you will be sending that person to me, Jessica. I will be floating around in that registration area to handle registration. There will be some people who just arrived day of, but please do check to see, even if they're not registered, they possibly still might have a name badge. Some of these are presenters, and so we wanted to make sure presenters had name badges, even if they didn't register previously. And if you do not find a name badge for someone, there will be extra name badges, lanyards, and Sharpies for people to write their names out for the day. So that is pretty much registration in a nutshell. So let's go on to chair responsibilities. So for chairs, you will be receiving, or there's a materials packet that will be in the session room. And inside that packet, there's going to be a dongle, an HDMI adapter, an evaluation data collection sheet, the bio for the speaker, and also tech quick tips and instructions. Just to hopefully give you a packet of just anything that you might need during that session. Yep. And so to go over a few things, so the evaluation that we are conducting, I don't know if you might all have met him, you might know him. So Kyle Breeze, one of our master's students in RMS, he is conducting an evaluation on the conference for his practicum. So conducting this, doing this evaluation data collection sheet is really important for his practicum. And so we want to be very conscious about making sure that we fill that out. So let's go through the chair responsibilities. So first thing is you're going to introduce the speaker. I'm going to include the bios or the introductions for the speakers in the material packet. So for most sessions, for the problem solving roundtable and the teaching sessions, you'll only have to do one introduction as there's only one full session there. However, if you signed up for a presenter spot or a presenter session, there will be two presenters during that time frame. So you will need to do these tasks 2 times for each of the speakers, but there will be 2 different introductions for that. For both of those speakers. And so then for the evaluation piece, during or before the speaker introduction, if you could just go over the information again about how to instruct attendees to participate in the question or the evaluation question. We will talk about this in depth during the opening remarks, but reminding people kind of what to do is important. So instructing the attendees to participate in the poker chip drop question. The question is going to be about if the session provides a useful skill or technique that they would be able to use. And all they have to do is drop in a poker chip in a canister that says yes or in a canister that says no. Just instructing them to do that is really important. And so during the session, at the beginning of the session, if you can count the number of people at the beginning of the session and then count the number of people at the end of session, that would be fantastic. And then also then count the number of poker chips in each of the mason jars. So that's the data collection portion for the evaluation that we need from you. And then the second piece is we need you to be a timekeeper. We want to make sure that all the sessions run within the amount of time so we can stay on schedule throughout the day. So in your material packets, you will have time cards. So I'll put up there. So you'll have time cards to keep presenters, to let the presenters know what remaining time they have so that they can start wrapping things up. And so we can stay on schedule. And then lastly, there is a session reflection sheet. So let me show you. This is the actual page that you'll receive in your materials for information, for general information about it, about volunteering and what you need to do for the session. And so this sheet, we just need you to fill out with your name, the session name, the amount of attendees from the beginning of the session into the session. If there's any issues during the session, I don't really have an example of what that might be, but if there's anything that comes up that doesn't need to be addressed at that very moment, but you think is kind of an issue or a problem, please write this here and then contact me about it. And so we can talk about what we should do about it. And then this is where you would put the poker chips results, just a yes, no, and then after you count them, just put the poker chips back into the main container so that it would be ready for the next session. This portion down here, I'm going to write this down as reflection, is where we want your comments about attendees, or comments about attendees that made the session, comments about presenters, and about your experience. So this main section here, we just want information that you observed and about your experience being a volunteer for that session. So that's all information, and it's really helpful for the evaluation that Kyle is producing for the conference. Lastly, there'll be a text sheet in your materials. So just make sure that, everything should be set up beforehand. I'm going to go through all the rooms to make sure that tech is set up and up to date. But if anything does occur, first check on the panel if the input is set to the correct setting. So that's computer or laptop. If it's anything beyond that, you might have to call me with my phone number, or we might have to get tech support if it's anything beyond that, because that's the only access that we really have is if it is on that panel, which is just really the routing of tech. So that's all that I have for a brief overview of things that will be happening during that day. These notes will be included in the material packets. So if you need any refreshers for anything, this information will be available. So when you arrive for your session time slot, we have a sign that's going to be next to registration. That's going to be the volunteer checkpoint. If you could please text me when you are on your way to the checkpoint, and then we can just go over, just do a quick refresher of if you have any questions, and go through just the packets really fast. So you have all of the materials and all the knowledge that you need for that session. That would be fantastic. So again, put this number in your phone. You don't have to keep it there forever, but for Thursday and or Friday, if you could have this number in there, that would be fantastic. Please let me know if you have any more questions or concerns. I probably left something out of this training, but I hope that we're going to have a fantastic day, or fantastic days, really. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to meet a lot of cool people. So, yeah, I'm really excited. Please, once again, let me know if you have any questions or comments. And I will see you all on Thursday and or Friday. So have a great evening. Thank you.